Can I speed this up in any way? The only thing I really have is my ship. If I drove my ship at the planet's surface really, really fast, that do a thing? I mean, it might, right? Poof. You know what, now I think about it. Do you reckon Hollow's lantern does it? Hold on, I would like to try and catch one before it falls. If I can see a meteorite smashing into it. %. Where's that one landing? Is that gonna hit? Still 69%. Well, that might have been because I actually hit the wrong piece of landmass. Oh. Fancy that. Okay. This doesn't move, does it? That's always just going to stay there, right? Because the top of this tower has a rock, and it's affecting the trees and whatnot. And this is always staying there, so it's not affected by the quantum moon shard. Oh. Slurp. I do wonder if standing here is a best idea. I may get hurled through and then absolutely flattened by the place. That is the risk we are taking. Put off. Fireball. Oxygen. Oxygen. I need oxygen to survive. Oxygen is necessary for my life. Surface integrity. Okay. I'm sorry, what? I don't get it. I do not get it. What have I done? I ran out of oxygen inside my ship. I ran out of oxygen inside my ship. How did that happen? I got flung through the white hole. Hello, Slate. Bye-bye, Slate. I got flung through the white hole, not in my ship. And I came out the other side, in my ship. And he appears to have broken things. Okay. Well then, okay. Brum, 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 brum. You know what? Other line of thing I should look at is the bottom of the lake bed, right? For someone went missing. Whose name I forget. Clarence or something. There's a cave at the bottom of there. I need to look at. Stairs. Whoa. Let's do this. Can't imagine this taking up an entire loop. He says. Ah. There's more stairs. Oh, it's dark down here. Really, it just keeps going, huh? I really don't like it. I didn't realize I had to be here so soon. That's not happening. I'm sorry, but no. That requires me to be here way earlier, get here in a rush. Get here in a rush and then go through a cave. Wow, that cave really fills up quick. It goes so deep as well. No wonder the guide disappeared. Okay, so that's on the docket of to do as well. Swing. Yeah. I can't do this until that starts dispersing. So many things. I'm all over the place today. Let us go to the Hanging City. I think. Is that where I want to be? I know the Black Hole Forge is there. But is it where I want to be? Ah! Need to find the place I landed before. Up there, there it is. Okay, this will do. Okay, so number 2, Meltwater District. Oh, I see, I'm on number 2. Okay, so down is the school district, up is the ice shrine. School sounds like learning. Let's go learn. Hello. Thank you. Bum, 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 bum. Huh. Yeah, the settlement of the people who crashed are definitely over there, so it's not part of the Hanging City. It's another place I need to look at. Ghost matter detected in my... Yep, I'm aware. Where am I going? Huh. Okay. So I found a tree. Oh. Got the younglings, huh? And the teacher, still in the process of teaching a class. Oh. Lammy, explanation of festivals. I may all know my clans from all over the universe, meet in one place to share what they've learned in science and art, and is called to the festival. Felix, don't forget, festivals happen every 10 years. I mean, at some festivals, one clan's big discovery can mean all the Nomai get an advance, too. Like a Noah's warp core which made it so everyone can warp long distances and explore more. Each clan has a festival envoy to show their most interesting work. Our envoy was Thatch. A single festival could last a long, long time. We can't go because we're stuck here, but Felix says we used to go too. Solanum, formation of this universe. No one knows how this universe was made, but one thing we do know is everything used to be very hot and very dense, tightly packed together. As this early universe expanded, it also cooled down, and once it had cooled down enough, particles were able to group together to form things like galaxies, stars, and planets. Since then, space has continued to expand at a faster and faster rate, which is hard to think about for too long without your head hurting. This universe will keep getting cooler, colder, and larger until one day the stars, the life, This universe will keep getting colder and larger until one day the stars and the life they support will all die. I don't like the implication of that. What's scary to think about, even though Convoy tells me it won't happen in our lifetime, it'll happen in someone else's. The stars are all exploding. The stars are all exploding. The stars are all exploding. The stars. The stars. I do not like the implication that the universe itself is exploding. It's something to swallow, isn't it? I know I have a tendency to overthink things when I find a piece of information, so I'm trying not to dwell on it. At the same time, it's food for thought, isn't it? Can I get up there? I don't think I can I? I definitely need to find the warp thing. Because there is the pathway upside down. This is the Ice Shrine District, right? Yeah. Oh. Oh! We're fine, we're fine. Don't have me parkour over everything. Is that a bed? Okay, there's a down. Okay. Wow, a lot of reading, okay. Be welcomed in this place. This shrine is a space to reflect on what brought us to this star system, the signal from the eye. We observed the eye signal in our travels and followed it here to find its source. What we know is this: the source of the signal, which we have chosen to call the eye of the universe, is older than this universe itself. The rest has been... How do you know that? Enter and open your mind to its possibilities. Enter? Enter what? Is this a door? Enter? Can I go... Nope, that's solid. Enter and open your mind to... I don't know what you want me to enter. What is the eye of the universe? Please tell me. The eye is older than its universe, so imagine how much it could teach us. How do you... Is the universe actually exploding? Perhaps it is a cosmic library. Suppose the eye is a more advanced being. The eye is the source of the signal that brought us here. How can the eye be older than the universe itself? Suppose it is a relic from a previous universe. Why? What? As early universe was unimaginably hot and dense, if anything existed before it would have to have been destroyed. Suppose the universe is older than previously assumed. What is the eye symbol? Suppose the eye... What is the eye... Signal, not symbol, that's what I mean. What is the eye's signal? Of note, from the signal we were able to determine the eye's approximate age, or perhaps lack thereof of age. Suppose the eye wishes to communicate. The signal is a call. Where were the intended audience? The signal is the eye's voice, it speaks a language we don't know yet. Or maybe the signal is the eye's attempt at expressing itself. Enter and open your mind to its possibilities. Enter what? Be welcomed in this place. Am I already in the enter? I don't know. That's a lot to take in. cassava. I imagine I've been hard on Poke again. In this turn means I've made things difficult for her sister, Clary. So if Poke and I are oil and water, Clary is our emulsifier. She certainly makes us a better team than would mixing through shaking, though sometimes I would like to shake Poke. Jokes aside, I suppose my own fear of never finding the eye prompted my argument with Poke. That would be immature of me. Should I apologise? At least to Clary, who would then tell Poke, who got lost and died on the interloper. None of this really explains why everyone died. I wonder where I can get that information. There's more stuff. Oh! Up here, right? Gotta make a jump. Okay. Anything upwards? Yep, maybe. There may be more. More reading! Solanum. I no longer believe, as I did as a child on Ember Twin, that the eye of the universe, the source of the signal, wishes to harm us. But it may not want to be found either. The terrible circumstances of our arrival here were almost certainly exactly that, circumstance. I suspect imagining we are special to the eye in some way is wishful thinking. The eye might have called out to any sentient species. Or it might not have been calling out at all, and that my ancestors heard the eye's signal holds no great deep meaning. This wouldn't be so bad, I think. May not want to be found either. In fact, the eye may not have wishes at all. We have no evidence supporting this. Yeah. Whee! Okay. So there's stuff up there. I'm assuming the other end of that warp is on Ash Twin. And there is a big bridge here as well, but it's currently broken. I wonder what that connects to. We may have to get here early as well to find out that, so that everything's not broken and in the black hole. There's more over here, right? There's the control room. There are these three walls, but there's only one thing. Ah! Solution 2? We could craft it. National product requires a powerful, highly advanced warp core. How do we obtain it? Okay. Solution 2. We could craft a new advanced warp core inspired by the vessel's warp core. Oh no! The greatest challenge here, I think, is we don't have any design for such a powerful core, or any of the original crafters on the vessel's core. The vessel. The vessel. The vessel. The vessel. The one all the escape pods launched from. There's a good point. Where is that? There's escape pods, but there's no big ship. A vessel? Clary. No, but Poke was apprenticed to Annona, who crafted the original design, and our Black Hole Forge is adept at crafting simpler cores. Poke. I believe I can be of use here. The vessel's warp core was created before my time, but Annona explained many of the designs to me. Idea. This is the safest path for our clan. Evans, this is the safest path. Is the safest path the best one? Our goal is worth the risk. Cassava. Is it though? We've tried for so long to find something that I and others now believe might be impossible to find. When the search for the eye is a futile one, we should choose the option with the least potential harm. Poke. I would very much like to craft a much powerful core. More relevantly, I believe the Black Hole Forge crew and I could recreate the basic design. Spire. Abandoning the vessel's warp core and its casing means losing valuable knowledge. Matthias. This is true, however, the knowledge we have little... It's knowledge we have... Oh my god. This is true, however, it's knowledge we have little hope of recovering. It would be best to relearn, I think. There's a warp... There's a vessel warp core? Ooh. A vessel warp core. Ah. Anything upwards? There is stuff upwards. Hello. I should read the scroll first. Would this be solution number 1? Solution 1. We could retrieve the warp core from the vessel. So I can either... I can either create a warp core from the black hole or find the vessel. This would require a return to This return is required to Dark Bomb, but Plume, my father said many good know my perish there. My mentor Coleus and his old mentor once discovered and studied an anglerfish fossil on Ember Twin. Using that knowledge could avoid the anglerfish entirely. The horror cave, okay. I remember that anglerfish fossil. We used to play in the fossil fish cave when we were children. The skeletons of the children that were there? What Mallory and I learned from that fossil would theoretically help us evade the anglerfish. Oh! But a hypothesis was never tested on a live specimen. The vessel will crash in the warp core. Nope. The vessel's warp core is broken at best. I recall those present times when the vessel crashed. It said the same lethal than injuries. There is no guaranteed reward for this risk. Perhaps we should still repair it. My grandmother told me there was little time to assess the nature or extent of the damage. Cassava, even if it no longer functions, the old core would be a valuable blueprint, provided we are able to transport it back here. I see, okay. I need to find a vessel. The vessel's in Dark Bramble. But in order to evade the anglerfish, I need to go to Ember Twin. I need to go to Ember Twin, go into the cave and look at the horror. The horror has information about the anglerfish. Hello, Slate. Bye-bye, Slate. So there is a perfectly normal probe that launches from the orbital cannon at the start of every loop. The cannon itself is around Giant's Deep, and it was built in a construction yard where they used cyclones to shoot the sections into orbit. Now at the time, they were not aware of the reverse cyclone, used that incorrect wind tunnel where they thrust it to the bottom of the ocean. To get into the ocean, we have to use a counterclockwise cyclone that we learnt about in Brittle Hollow's observatory. Then we have to ride a giant jellyfish through a lightning wall, which we found on ice in Dark Bramble. Now, the probe tracking module contains coordinates for the Eye of the Universe and directions to the Ash Twin Project. And the Ash Twin Project is at the core of the planet, wrapped in an impenetrable shell built by Timberhearth Sparkle Rock. Now, the missing piece of the puzzle here is that I may need a warp core to get inside said shell. On Ember Twin, there is a high-energy lab that proves that there is a 22-minute negative time interval that might have something to do with the time loop I'm experiencing. It requires a lot of energy, which is where the sun station comes in. The experiment in the lab itself runs off miniature black and white holes, which is built in a black hole forge. So the black hole forge is on Brittle Hollow, and it makes warp cores. We need to find information on warp cores, ? And we may be able to find that on the vessel, which is supposedly in Dark Bramble, because of course the ship we're looking for is inside a giant haunted space bush. Now, Dark Bramble itself is filled with giant murderous anglerfish who thinks my furry ass is tasty, and there's information on the anglerfish on the Ember Twin, because of course the gnome I stored their zoological notes in a sand-filled death maze. So I have to go back to the Ember Twin caves, study a fossilized murderfish, and use whatever information I can glean to battle kaiju-sized space monsters, whilst navigating a region that is foggy, bigger on the inside, non-Euclidean, which apparently happens a lot around here, and theoretically, infinite. All so I can find a crashed spaceship that has been lost longer than my will to live. To do something. Something important. Probably. Maybe. Also, the universe may be exploding. But that legitimately made my heart pound faster than my encounter with the anglerfish.